What's up, guys? Ty Rivera here, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world. I got asked to talk about this particular story. It's the story about the homeless guy and the couple who did the GoFundMe. I was very interested in the story from the beginning because I remember all the way back from when it was actually trending on social media. I remember thinking, this isn't going to go well. So I'm not giving you a spoiler because obviously if it had gone well, we wouldn't be talking about it. I watched the story again just to make sure that I was clear on all the facts and what's going on so far. There's always going to be some misinformation out there when you're just doing it through social media and stuff like that. But I went ahead and rewatched the story, so I'd be like, okay, this is exactly what it is. I'm going to go ahead and play that for you guys. If you're not familiar with it, check it out. If you are familiar with it, I'll put a timestamp so that you know when you can forward to, so you don't have to watch the full story and you can just get my opinion if you want to do it that way. Check out the story and then we'll get to opinions on it.
John Bobbitt says Kate McClure and Mark D'Amico had complete control over his money, and they used thousands of it to go on lavish trips, shopping sprees, and to gamble.
I wish, I hate that it came to this.
John Bobbitt is back on the streets. He has no money and is fighting to reclaim what's left of over $400,000 raised on GoFundMe last year.
I didn't want to be pressuring to get a lawyer or do anything because I didn't want to appear ungrateful.
14,000 people donated to help Bobbitt after he gave his last $20 to help Kate McClure, who'd run out of gas off of I-95. McClure and her boyfriend, Mark D'Amico, set up a GoFundMe account and claimed they'd buy Bobbitt a house and set up 2 trusts. It never happened.
We'll find out tomorrow how much remains when the money is transferred from the defendants to our escrow account.
Bobbitt estimates he received about $75,000, including a camper and pickup truck the couple bought in their names, not his, and which were eventually sold.
I have to ask them for everything. It was kind of... In the beginning, it was a joke, like they were like my parents. But the joke stops being funny after a while.
In a nationally televised interview this week, the couple says they worried Bobbitt would spend the money on drugs, and their attorney disputed the $75,000 figure in court today.
Mr. Bobbitt received in cash as well as goods and services that were paid for out of this money of over $200,000.
Action News began following McClure and D'Amico's spending habits online beginning late last year after receiving an anonymous tip that the couple was misspending the money on themselves. In just a few months, McClure posted pictures and videos of a New Year's Eve bash in Las Vegas, helicopter rides, trips to New York with front row tickets to the Broadway show The Book of Mormon, and shopping excursions. And on her arm, an expensive Louis Vuitton handbag.
He is a self-described gambling addict. I think it's pretty hypocritical for you to tell me I can't manage my money because I might spend it on drugs. And you're doing the same thing.
McClure is an administrative assistant with the state of New Jersey. D'Amico is a carpenter. It's unclear how the couple paid for the questionable items, but they've publicly denied spending any of the GoFund money on themselves.
They have said they will have a forensic accountant. They have said they're fine with the trustee. They have said they'll open up the books. What more can they do? I would urge anybody to withhold judgment until that's been made public.
And in court today, the judge ordered all remaining money be moved from the couple's personal accounts to an escrow account within 24 hours and a complete accounting of the money completed by September 10th. Attempts to reach the couple for comment have been unsuccessful, and their attorney had no comment today outside of court.
First off, what I'm going to say is this couple, they're clearly idiots. Because the number one rule if you're going to jack like that is don't post what you're doing with the money all over Facebook. Which everybody knows that's what it has to be. If you lived a very chill lifestyle before, and then all of a sudden you're in charge of this GoFundMe where a guy gets $400,000, well, I think it came out to like $370,000 or $360,000 after GoFundMe takes their cut. And then all of a sudden, you go from living this regular lifestyle to this lavish jet set, now we're doing everything lifestyle. It's like, how would you not think people are going to put that together? And how would you not think people are paying attention to that? It's like, that's not the life that you are living. And then all of a sudden, this ends up your life. So let's start with the fact that they're both just idiots. And then secondly, I don't care. Anybody that's ever dealt with addicts before knows there's not a magic pill, there's not a magic bullet, there's nothing that's just going to make them lose their addiction. That takes time, that takes them wanting to lose their addiction. And if you've ever dealt with anybody who's been struggling with addiction, you know that that is a long road, and you're not going to motivate them by telling them, I'm not giving you your money until you do X, Y, and Z, because that's just not the way addiction works. So it's very frustrating on that end to see two people trying to act like somebody's parents. That doesn't even work with your real parents. You think this man doesn't have a real family that tried to help him out at some point? I'm sure there's a lot of people, and that's something I think about all the time. Whenever I think, like, maybe I can help this person out, because every once in a while I get a little bit of the Florence Nightingale syndrome, I think it is, when you think you can fix people. Maybe I'm wrong on that term. Let me know in the comments. But sometimes I do get that syndrome where I feel like I can help this person, I can really fix them, I can help them get on the straight and narrow. And then all of a sudden I'm like, you know what? This person doesn't necessarily seem young, and I'm sure better and more qualified people than me have tried. So I'm going to let this person do what they does. Because, like, really, what did they help with? Really, what did they do? Like, they temporarily gave him a place to live. They temporarily bought him a truck and a trailer, which that wasn't what she said at all. If you ever paid attention to the GoFundMe and what her original thing was she wanted to help him get back on his feet. She wanted to get him his own place, and she wanted to get him his truck. She didn't say she wanted to keep all of that stuff in her name, because nobody would have donated in that case. Nobody was thinking about, like, let's make sure that this lady that ran out of gas and just happened to meet a nice homeless man is taken care of for the rest of her life and gets a Louis Vuitton bag because we just want to see this woman's dreams come true. Nobody was thinking that. Everybody was just thinking, wow, this man who has very little gave this woman his last $20 so that she could get gas in her car, or a gas can and gas is what I'd imagine you'd do with $20 if your car ran out of gas. That's what I would do. And it's like $5 for the gas tank. Then you get your little, what's it called? But who knows how that happened. Maybe she put the whole $20 in her tank. I don't know. I think that's bad mouth on his part, because if I only had $20 left, I would be like, I'll get you a gallon of gas. I'll maybe get you 2 gallons of gas. But let's not get caught up on what I would do when it comes to that. Although I did get asked for my opinion, so I feel like I could give my opinion, right? When you get asked for your opinion, then you can say what you want to say. And I'm asking for your opinion in these comments. So, yeah, so there's that. And also, like, say he got 75 grand, which is what he says he got. Then they still owe him about $280,000, somewhere in that neighborhood, depending on if it's 60 or 70,000 that GoFundMe took. Then, when it comes to what they say they gave him 200 grand. So that's either 160 or 170 grand that they owe him. Either way, this man is owed money, and you're not giving him his money. And I did hear about, there was a point when I was watching Philip DeFranco's show, which they didn't mention on this particular story, where the guy admitted that he used $500 of the money one time to gamble because he didn't have his gambling card on him. So, come on now. Like, everybody knows, if you end up in charge of somebody's money, you can't turn it into your own personal piggy bank. But that's what people do a lot of times. So that's why you don't even get in those situations. Like, there are times where people have asked me to hold money for them, and I'm like, no, I don't want to hold your money. Because it's just too tempting. I mean, like, I know that I'm a good person. I know that I would not keep anybody's money. But at the same time, if you're running short on your money and you just happen to have this extra money that somebody let you hold on to, it's very easy to, with the best intentions, think, well, I'm just going to borrow some of their money and then I'll put it right back. And before you know it, you spent all their money. And then they're like, I need my money. And you're like, well, I don't really know what we're going to do about that. I guess I could make your money back. I guess I didn't expect you to ask for your money back. Which they should have known. Like 200 grand, anybody's going to ask for that money back, especially an addict. An addict will look in couch cushions for change. So you think they're not going to go shake your ass down if they know you have 200 grand of their money? More than 200 grand if you ask them? So I say that one, this couple is idiots for going on this spending spree. I hope. Now, this is one of those ones where people might not agree with me on the punishment, but I do hope that the judge is lenient on them, because I think eventually we're going to end up finding out. Because here's the thing. The judge said, okay, cool. Then all of the money that's left over, you go ahead and turn that over. We're going to put it in escrow. Simple enough to me. So whatever money you have left of it, it's time for you to give it up. And then GoFundMe has said that they're going to cover whatever didn't go where it was supposed to go. So GoFundMe is probably not going to be happy about that. They're going to lose some money, but clearly, if they're taking cuts like this, and there's GoFundMes happening every day, so they've made a lot of money. So it's a drop in the bucket for them, but they're still not going to be happy about it. No business wants to lose money like that. And then from there, well, I say I hope that they're lenient, but I don't know, because I don't feel like they're good people at the same time. Because to me, it does seem very, like, here's the deal. At a point, you got to accept the jig's up, and that's just what it is. So it's cool to just say, okay, this is the way it went down, or this is what happened, or if maybe you don't want to come completely clean like that, so then you're like, okay, well, I'll make it back, or I'll figure it out, or I'll make it right. Sorry, I'm yawning. But to just dick the man around and make him beg you and beg you and beg you to give you money that was raised in his name and for him, and then turn it into a situation where he has to take you to court, like, that's probably something you didn't count on. You probably thought, this homeless guy will never get it together enough to take us to court, so it's almost no consequence. Who cares? Nobody's ever going to find out that we did this or be able to prove it, because this guy isn't going to be able to get it together enough to take us to court. And that, again, shows you how crafty addicts are, because addicts will find a way. If it's between you and them and their drugs, But we'll end up seeing what happens. I'll keep you guys posted. I'll end up doing an update at some point, but that's where I'm at with it. I feel like these people are idiots. As far as the guy goes, I don't judge him. Like I said, I've known addicts, and I know that that's a tough road that he's on. And so I'm not having any kind of judgment to him where I feel like, he's a lowlife, he's a whatever. He's a guy that's going through a hard time, and I don't know the road he's walked, and I don't know what led him to being in the predicament he's in. But if money is raised for him and in his name, and I just feel like the right thing to do is get his money back to him. And I know, like, I do jokes on stage about not giving money to homeless white people. And that's not 100% true. Technically, when I'm giving money to people, homeless people, I don't really care what color they are. It's just some strike me the right way and some don't strike me the right way. This guy did strike me the right way, but, when I saw the GoFundMe initially, but I just don't usually go giving my money to, like, GoFundMes and stuff like that. Once in a while I do, but it's kind of rare, and it's usually somebody that I know personally, and I'm like, yeah, I know this person, and I have a feeling they're going to do exactly what they say with this money, so I'm going to go out and donate to that. And I've donated for stuff that isn't necessarily Dire Straits type stuff. Sometimes people are doing stuff for, to get ahead, as far as career goes, like shoot a special. Right now, I have a friend that her dog just recently died, and I'm going to put the link to that GoFundMe in this. I'm not saying you guys have to donate, or I just feel like, you know, she's had a rough time, and I know Bijou, who you saw jump down earlier, means the world to me. And if anything ended up happening to her, I'd do everything I could to make sure that that got taken care of. And my friend's dog ended up dying, but before she died, she had to go to emergency and that kind of stuff. Yeah, so sometimes I do donate, but for the most part, I stay out of that because I feel like I can't just be handing my money out like that. And that's one of these situations where when I originally saw this story online, I was like, that's a great, heartwarming story. I trust that the rest of the world will handle this. And they did, to the tune of $400,000. They didn't need my little 20 bucks. Because that's usually about what I'm going to give, is 20 bucks. Let me know what you guys think. Subscribe, give me a thumbs up. You know how it works. This has been Ty Rivera, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world. Mwah.